Hello and welcome to Cooking with the Wooden Spoon. If you're new here, my name is Michelle and I'm really glad you're here. Today we are making light banana bread. You won't even be able to tell that this is a low-fat recipe. This banana bread is every bit as good as Bob Evans banana bread. And if you've ever had Bob Evans banana bread, you'll know this is really good. This recipe actually came from my daughter, and I love that my recipe card is in her handwriting. She's an amazing baker. I think that when people are really good at science, I think they're good bakers. I may be making a broad assumption there, but both Matt and Lisbeth are very scientific and they are excellent bakers. I am not scientific and I'm not the best baker, but this recipe is so easy that it's pretty much no fail. So we are going to start by mashing our bananas. These bananas are pretty overripe. I don't like to see anything go to waste. So if I have overripe bananas, I will almost always find something creative to do with them. So one other thing that you can do with bananas is if they are overripe or even, regular ripe, you can just throw them, peel and all, in the freezer until you're ready to use them at a different time. And then whenever you're going to make your banana bread or whatever banana recipe, you can just pull those out of the freezer and use them. I almost always have bananas in my freezer because I oftentimes do crave this banana bread. It is so delicious. And like I said, it's really easy. So it's one of my go-to. I don't have much of a sweet tooth. Matt has much of a sweet tooth. But I do really like this banana bread, sweet tooth or not. So the bread actually calls for 3 ripe bananas, but I have 4, and I have found that I've made this recipe so many times. I have found that anywhere between 3 and 5 bananas is perfect. So the first step to this is just mashing the bananas. I'm using my mom's masher that I've used for many, many years. So I think that so much of cooking for me is sentimental. Um, that just what just rang in my head is I have often thought to myself that I do put the mental in sentimental because I am so sentimental about things. But if you've been here with me before, you know that that's not a bad thing because you can feel things really deeply that way. So to this, I am adding applesauce instead of oil. That is what makes it low fat and low cal and delicious. So 1/2 of a cup is the exact measurement of the lunchbox applesauce. I have used unsweetened applesauce. I have used applesauce with um, cinnamon in it, and they all taste fantastic with this. So to that, I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar. I'll give that a little mix. Everything will just be done in the same bowl. I usually get a bigger bowl, so I'm hoping that we make it okay with this amount. We'll see. I can grab another bowl if we need to. And then a pretty heaping teaspoon of vanilla and a heaping teaspoon of almond extract. There's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason to this. Actually, I think I'm going to do the egg in here. These are store-bought eggs. I do really need to call Dan. So there's not as much of a risk of one of them having a little issue, but better safe than sorry. So I'm going to mix everything wet, and then we will mix everything dry, and then we'll just put them together. Easy peasy. I think the one thing that Lisbeth does with this recipe that I really like is she adds almond extract to hers. Previously, before Lisbeth's recipe, I had never used almond in my banana bread, and that makes such a foundational difference. So I have 2 cups of flour, and to that we add a teaspoon of baking soda and a teaspoon of baking powder. There we go. As I've said before, I really like using Clabber Girl baking powder because it's made in Terre Haute, where my amazing friend Mariella lives. And then 1 teaspoon of this, a teaspoon of salt, and that's it for the dry. I think since I know myself, I'm going to get a bigger bowl. I have confessed to you before, I am not the neatest cook. I do clean up as I go, but I'm certainly not the neatest cook along the way. But that's quite all right. The whole point of cooking is, well, 2 points of cooking for me. Eating well, eating cleanly. I'm definitely not one of those clean eaters. But I think there's much value in eating pure, eating with as few ingredients that are processed as possible. So that's definitely my goal. So that's the one thing that I find value in cooking. And the other is just doing something that I love, doing something that I enjoy. If you tend to, I don't know, have too much structure or too much perfection, I think it takes the fun out of it. And for me, cooking is definitely fun, and it is my happy place. And it's just a wonderful coincidence that there are health benefits to it as well. So you do not have to add walnuts if you do not like walnuts. This recipe is totally fine without walnuts, but I really like walnuts. So we are going to add 1 cup of walnuts. We're going to pour this batter into these 2 dishes, and they're going to bake at 350 for at least 45 minutes to an hour. This is one recipe that I definitely test as I go, and I don't use a toothpick. I actually use a butter knife to test this, just because the toothpick isn't going to get the whole way through the loaf. So I'm trying to make these as even as possible, but really it doesn't matter that much because you can pull one out if it's done and leave the other one in there. This smells so good. And you know what the really, really wonderful thing about this recipe is? It just reminds me of Lisbeth, and she is one of those truly epic people. Even if I hadn't given birth to her, I would still find her totally rad and impressive. So, thinking of her is all good things. Okay, I think we're good. Definitely This is one of the things that you kind of shake. If you shake, it makes everything even in the pan. So we're just plopping these in the oven, and the hardest part of this recipe is waiting for an hour to be able to eat it. But we can do it. This is so perfect. It cooked for 45 minutes, which is less than I thought it was going to cook. And I put a knife in and it came out clean. So I'm going to let this sit in the pan for maybe 3 minutes. As it sits and starts to cool a little bit, it's going to pull away from the sides. You'll love them talking with my hands. And then we're going to take it out and put it on a cooling rack and let it cool. But you're going to really love this. I can't wait to taste it together. The loaves turned out perfect. I thought you'd like to join us for lunch today as we try our banana bread. We've tried this banana bread a lot of times.
Yeah, I love banana bread.
Especially this recipe. But we haven't shared banana bread with you yet, so we thought you would enjoy seeing it. Oh, it is perfect on the inside. Delicious.
Very good. Good job.
Yeah, so flavorful. I can really taste the almond in this. It doesn't overpower the bananas, which is good, but it just almost gives it more depth of flavor. So, what are you having for lunch, Matt?
Banana bread. I'm having crusted chicken with almond sauce.
Pecan crusted
yeah, I couldn't
chicken.
tell what kind of nuts they are. They're smashed.
Almond sauce.
I'm having smashed nut crusted chicken with almond sauce, almond cream sauce.
Yeah.
All I care about is almond cream sauce.
Same. Usually we have the same thing for lunch that we had for dinner. I always make enough so that we have enough for lunch. But today I was craving salmon, so I am having salmon with the Harvest veggies over spinach. You can find the salmon recipe if you scroll down and enjoy that. But it goes perfect with our banana bread, which is absolutely delicious. I hope to try this one. So we're going to go eat lunch and enjoy our banana bread for dessert.
And an appetizer.
And an appetizer. Yep.
It's nice when it can serve both purposes.
That's right. This is actually really good for a crowd because it makes 2 loaves and it's perfect. Have a great day.